Happy Earth Day! I'm so grateful to be here this morning and just sitting underneath beautiful pine trees and blue skies, and I trust that God is with you wherever you're at today. And I'm excited to jump into James again, chapter 4, verse 13 through 16, or through 17. Yes. Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go into such and such a town and spend a year there and trade and make a profit. Yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanish. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that. As it is, you boast in your arrogance. All such boasting is evil. So whoever knows the right thing to do and fails to do it, for him it is sin. Now, a lot of us like to make plans in advance, like we know, that's exactly what's going to happen. Well, in college, my roommate and I were going to make a huge ski trip for a week, and that was planned in months advanced. But about a month before the ski trip happened, he ended up breaking his neck, C5 fracture, had to wear a neck collar. And so we ended up not going on that ski trip, and we were just really bummed about that. But I tend to realize that life is fragile, and we are a mist. And so as much as we want to control tomorrow in the future with the plans that we make, we can't. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And it just shows that God is in control of tomorrow. And so we ended up going to Phoenix and spending time with his grandparents, and it was a very relaxing time. Now, my roommate, he's doing really well right now. He's healthy, he's strong, and he's in great shape. Just looking back, it just shows me how life is so fragile. And James is saying, what is your life? Because you're a mist that appears for a little time and vanishes. And so I just think about, Kobe Bryant. He was supposed to be at the All-Star game, and people were making plans. I know Dwight Howard made a plan for him to be in his dunk contest, but that never happened. And so we can't make plans and expect it to happen, and we're in charge, we're in control. Because truth is, we're not in control. We can't control tomorrow. God owns tomorrow. Tomorrow belongs to God. There's nothing wrong with making plans. We make plans every day, but it's making plans with arrogance and thinking we're in charge, thinking we're in control of what we do in the future. That's when it becomes wrong. James says, you ought to say, if it's the Lord's will, we will live and do this and do that. And so I think we must make plans with the mindset of knowing that God is in control of the future. God knows tomorrow, but we don't. Life is fragile. And just thinking about that, we gotta we gotta do what's right today. We gotta live our life to the fullest today. Because there is no tomorrow. You know the right thing to do that you gotta do today, but you decide to hold it off and wait for tomorrow. That's sin. And he says that because God owns tomorrow. And if we choose to wait, it may never happen. Martin Luther King Jr. says, the time is always right to do what's right. And I just really like that. And the time is now. One of my really good friends pointed out to me this last week saying if God already knows tomorrow, if God already knows your plan for today, why not spend the time, why not start your day with the one who knows your day? Earlier in James 4, he says that God gives us more grace. And my dad brought up a really good question, is what grace do we need? And it's not just forgiveness, but it's grace to change our hearts, to change our lifestyle and our minds, to change our attitudes. Maybe it's grace to stop judging other people. It's grace to start listening and to be obedient to what God is wanting us to do, the good that He wants us to do. And so James is saying that don't say yes, but I'll do this later, because that's sin. We're not promised tomorrow. And so grace, God's grace, empowers us to change, empowers us to live the life that God wants us to live. And this going back to last week too, my mom taught me, don't point fingers at people, because when you point, I'm pointing at you. Guess how many fingers I have pointing back at me? I have 4 fingers pointing back at me. And so the purpose of this is just to look in the mirror and look at yourself and examine your own life and ask God to give us grace to change, to do the right thing today, to do the good today that He wants us to do. And that's our message for this week, is to humble ourselves and to live in humility and ask and say, if it's the Lord's will, then I will live and do this or that tomorrow. And we ought to pray and ask for God's grace to help us to change, to help us to do the good that we know that we need to do.